Going on, guys? It's just me today. My sister is not able to be present, and I'm actually here at the studio in Orlando. It's kind of like an impromptu podcast because I'm not really sure like what I was going to talk about, but with this new year coming up, I want to talk about a question that I would always ask people as I was growing up, and now I'm 27, and you know, I'm getting older, and younger people are actually asking me the same question. And so what I used to ask people when I was younger is, what do you wish you knew now, or that you didn't know back when you were starting? And I used to ask people that when I played baseball. So when I asked them that, it was more in regards to baseball. So I would ask coaches or other players that were older than me, I would ask them that question, you know, what do you wish you knew that you know now, that you didn't know back then? And so as I think back to my experiences, like what do I wish I knew before, there's a lot of things. And so the first thing is just the power of the mind and how powerful your mind really is. I really do believe that you can do anything that you set your mind to. And I think I thought that I knew that when I was younger, but I didn't quite know the extent of it. There's definitely times when I was playing baseball, or even when I started my business career, where I thought I was in a good headspace, but I wasn't. And so I would doubt myself, or I would have nights where I didn't think I was enough, or I would have days where my mind would betray me and I wasn't able to do what I did. I think back to my senior year of college. My junior year was just a little bit of background. Like, I played college baseball, a small Division I school in North Carolina, North Carolina A&T, go Aggies. And I had a pretty good career there. I did very well my freshman year. I was a freshman All-American. I did well again my sophomore year. I started off really good my senior year, and then I kind of tweaked my knee a little bit. But I had a good enough year to get drafted, in my opinion. There's other things that go into that, like raw athleticism and tools, and some things I didn't really check the boxes on. But as far as performance, I thought I did well enough to play professional baseball. But then came my senior year. And so my senior year, I put a little bit too much pressure on myself because I was like, okay, this is my last shot. I went and I trained at a facility. I got a really great training. I came back in the best shape that I had been all 4 years. I came back hitting the ball further, throwing harder, all the things that you would want to check the boxes for professional baseball. I was doing it better. And I had really good coaches, really good mentors. But and I thought I had a really good mindset, but here's where the story comes in. I actually didn't have a really good mindset. I was pressing the whole year. I was nervous before every game because I knew it was potentially my last year playing, and I wanted to continue playing. And so I started off really slow that year. I think I started off, if you guys are in baseball, I started off hitting 220. Which is not a good batting average, but my career average before that was like around the 330s. And I wasn't playing that well, I wasn't hitting that well, and I was really letting it affect me, and I started to doubt myself. And I remember there was a specific game where I was having a bad game, and I just went in the bathroom and I broke down, I started crying. And I think back to that, and I was like, man, I did everything. I would meditate before the games, I would do all my routines, I would practice hard, I would outwork everybody, but my inner being wasn't actually the confident baseball player that I was the last 3 years, because there was a little bit of doubt that I wasn't going to play past that. And it's kind of crazy now, once I'm done with baseball, I start going to a lot of events, and I start filling my mind with information from people that are not in sports. And it's all the same thing, right? Like, if you want to have a great business, you got to take care of yourself and your mindset. And a lot of what you believe you can do is what you're actually going to do. And I've learned just a lot of different strategies that I didn't use when I was playing. And it makes me think my mind actually wasn't rock solid. It wasn't as sharp as I thought it was, and I wasn't as confident as I thought I was as a player. So that's the first thing that I wish I knew that I didn't know back then, is that your mind has so much control over you that it can literally like make or break your career as an athlete, as a business person, as anything. Luckily, that chapter closed for me in baseball, and I moved over to the business side now, and you can be a business person way longer than you can be an athlete, and so I'm able to have like a fun life and enjoy what I do without having to play baseball now. But that's just the first thing that comes to my mind. It's just like how powerful the mind is, man. Like, it's if you really want something, if that's your true desire, I believe that you can do it, but it has to be your true desire. It can't be what you think you want. It has to be what you actually want, And even if you really truly want something, like your actions have to match up what you want. And on top of that, there's also an element of not caring. You also can't care too much. Like my senior year of college, I cared too much about playing professional baseball, and I ended up not playing professional baseball because of it. Because I was just too psyched in. I was too locked in. So you need to have this balance between being laser sharp focused and not caring. One of my coaches a while ago told me the best way to play the game is to be playing in a style that resembles ping pong. So when most people play ping pong, unless you're like a professional, you are playing to win and you really want to win, but you really don't care. Like, you're just there, you're trying to hit the ball as hard as you can. If you hit the ball good, it's good. If you don't, then you don't. And if you actually have played quite a bit of ping pong, we had a ping pong table in our locker room in college, and the times that I played the worst in ping pong was when I was trying to make sure it got over the net. When I didn't care and I just tried to spike it every time, that's when I would play the best. And that's very similar to life and to business and baseball and athletics, all of that. It's literally the same thing. But going back to the original question is, okay, what do I wish I knew back then that I know now? I think you don't have to, you're gonna find your way, and just get interested in something and be curious. I wish I knew that there were other things out there in the world besides baseball. I think I put myself in a hole and was like, baseball's all I care about, and so I didn't have an escape. And also I didn't know about anything else. When I got done with college and I started getting into the world of business, I knew absolutely nothing. I didn't know how to make money. I didn't know how business worked. And now I read a lot of biographies and a lot of stories about people that are successful, not in sports, and they were really interested in things that I wasn't interested at all as a kid. Like Elon Musk was very interested in programming. Steve Jobs was very interested in electronics, and that's just something that I wasn't interested in. And it wasn't, some of his upbringing, my parents didn't make that stuff cool. My parents weren't, they were cleaning houses and doing pest control because they had to make ends meet. Whereas, some of their other dads were engineers, and that stuff was cool, right? But I think the earlier you could get interested in things that help the world, such as programming, engineering, design, maybe like the medical field, biology, chemistry, physics, all that stuff, I think the sooner that you can get interested in it, then the better off you will be. I'm done, I don't play any sports now, but sometimes I think back and I'm like, man, I wish like when I was younger, I maybe picked up like a physics book and like learned how all this works. Because it's a lot easier to learn things when you're younger and you have a lot more time than when you're older. Now I find myself like scraping for time to learn how to program, or to learn like why when a glass falls, like water splashes everywhere when there's water filled, and so I find myself just scraping for those precious minutes to learn all this stuff that I didn't learn when I was younger. So, a lot of our community is younger people, and my message to them is get interested in things that matter. Get interested in things that help move the world forward, and you will be rewarded for it. You'll make a lot of money, you'll have a lot of really cool interests, and you'll never be bored, because there's just so many things in the world that the world is like a video game, honestly, and some people think we're in a simulation. I don't quite believe that, but I think that there's just so many cool things that are outside, that are in the actual physical world, that are not on your phone, that don't have to do with, likes or clicks. It could be as easy as just writing, like starting a blog that moves the world forward, that gives people information or entertains them. It could be something like you want to go do engineering and you put like bridges together that, hold highways up, or that hold cities up. Like, there's just so many things that you can create in the real world. And I think we're moving towards a society where kids are more interested in becoming an influencer or becoming a YouTuber or whatever it is than actually adding value. And there's only a few things that really add value in this world, and a lot of it is based on things that will never change. Physics will never change. Engineering, like mathematics, will never change. The way we do business, capitalism, it's a very beautiful thing. And so if you learn how to do business real well, that doesn't really change. At the end of the day, you're producing a product or service and you're making money off of it because you're leading people to create the products or the services. So all those things, it's important to get interested in those things. And I wish I knew that when I was younger. Another thing that I wish I knew when I was younger is how important other people are to doing anything. Like, you need a team. So right now I'm shooting this podcast. I usually do it with my sister, part of my team. There's somebody standing in front of me that's recording this video, and he's part of the team. And there's somebody that is overseas that is editing the video, that is part of that you're watching, that is part of the team. There's somebody that is publishing this to social media, that's part of the team. And so if I did it all by myself, then I would be like any other influencer out there that is trying to sell you a useless course or trying to sell you other things. But since I have a team, I'm able to do my business. I'm able to go out and build homes and manage people to build these homes and to market and to manage the properties, and still be able to hang out with my family, my dog, and that. But that's because I have other people's help. And I didn't quite realize that when I was younger. I think it's very similar to sports. I think sports and business and life are very similar, but I didn't quite understand it. When I was playing baseball, I always go back to that because that's literally all I cared about, all I knew for about 20 years. When I was playing, I cared about playing pro baseball, and it was selfish. It was selfish, right? I cared about the team, but only as long as I did well. And now that I'm doing business, where you're actually very reliant on people, because you can't win without a team. In sports, you can win without a team if you don't care about winning as a team. For example, I'm a good example. If we won, I was happy, but I was happy if I won. If I didn't win and the team won, I wasn't as mad as if we lost and I lost. But at the end of the day, I wanted to win. And so I didn't understand that when I was younger. But once you get into business, you really can't win without a team. And the team can't win without you. And so it's very symbiotic. And it's just a little bit more explicit than in sports. At least from my at least in my opinion, in my perspective, being in business has really helped me see the importance of surrounding yourself with good people and leading people to do really, really great things. To all my coaches, I get it. I get where you guys were coming from now, because you guys, it was like a business. You guys have all these players. You guys are trying to get them to win because that's how you are measured. That's how your success is measured. So if I measured my success upon playing pro ball or not, or my stats. I didn't measure my success off being a team player. But when you do business, when you collaborate in the real world, outside of athletics, outside of entertainment, then it becomes more of a team sport, and not even a sport. It's just a team collaboration that you're creating. You're benefiting society. We're creating affordable homes. We're benefiting society, and we need to work together, and we need to care for one another, very similar to how a sports team would. So that's another thing that I wish I knew when I was younger, is you need to work as a team. The last thing that I guess I'll talk about is I wish I knew when I was younger that money is different from what you think it is. I think, yeah, I mean, even as I've gotten older, I'm not even that old, I'm 27. Like when we first started making money as a family, I thought it was cool because now you can get a lot of the things that you didn't get when you were younger, you know, and you think about a lot like the shoes or like I like nice stuff still, but I think the meaning for like material things has changed for me. I think I like now I don't care about what it means, like the nice things, like traveling or nice clothes or nice food. I don't really care about like the actual material aspect of it, of people caring about what I'm wearing or people caring about where I travel, where I eat. I'm doing it more for myself and for my experience in this world. Like, for example, like I want to be wealthy and I want to have nice things because I want to experience nice things, right? Like I want to know what it feels like to wear $1,000 pair of jeans. These are not $1,000, these are Levi's, but you know, I want to know what it feels like to go to another country and interact with the people and eat their food. I want to know what it feels like to fly on a private jet, which I haven't done yet. I want to know what it feels like to drive a Porsche. I want to know what it feels like to eat the best sushi in the world. So all these things, when I was younger, I had this idea like I want to do it for like, you know, we call it like the clout. But now it's like I want to do it for the experience. I think like you're only you don't know how long you're going to be on this earth. Like you're only here for a finite time, every one of us, and so there's only a few things that I've experienced. Excuse me. I lost my train of thought, but what you experience is like your life is a collection of experiences. And so I want to be able to experience like the maximum amount of things. And you know, the shitty part about this world is that the wealthier you are, the more you're able to experience. So it's not even about being wealthy or, you know, having X amount of money in my net worth. It's more about like, what am I able to experience and how many lives am I able to impact and how many people am I able to meet and how many people can I collaborate with to do something really cool. That's more what I'm concerned with now. I could care less about, you know, wearing the $1,000 pair of jeans or, you know, having a nice watch. It's more about like, what is it like? Like, what does it feel like? And I want to experience that. And so that might still be a little bit shallow. As I get older, it'll probably be less shallow because I'll experience more things. But it does lose its appeal and I'm not like super wealthy by any means, but I'm able to drive a nice car and I've been able to travel. So you know, for as young as I am, like I've been able to experience quite a lot of cool things, you know, thanks to my family's success and some of my success. But yeah, it's like, that's another, yeah, so going back to the question, I wish I knew, like, just how to experience life more, go for experiences, think about how I can move the world forward and think about how I could get the most out of life instead of being focused on the perception of having a good life. And I think that's very relatable to kids today, you know, especially with TikTok. And I even, you know, look at my sisters and some of our community, and it's like, do you care about what people perceive of you, or do you care about the experience itself of what you're doing? And I'm not against taking pictures. I'm here sitting down, recording something to post, and I'll definitely feel some gratification if I get some likes on these posts or this podcast, but that's not really what it's about. You know, what it's about is about you want to move humanity forward. You want to collaborate with good people. You want to be close to your family. You want to experience all the good emotions that you can. So when you're gone, I don't know what it's like. I hope I don't know what it's like anytime soon, but I want to be able to just be happy at every moment. And feel like I'm part. That really fulfills me. Feel like I'm part of something that is bigger than myself. So yeah, my sister is here, so it's just kind of like a soliloquy. But I hope you guys enjoyed this little tidbit of information. I'm always glad to share. I feel like I've had a pretty unique perspective of life. Just, you know, I've done a lot of different things, and I mean, everybody has their own story. and everybody loves their own story. So obviously, I like telling my story. But if you guys took anything from it, then just one small piece, then that will make this time worth it. So thank you guys, and I hope you enjoyed the episode.